Hello everyone, I'm Sophie and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And this is the book that I'll be sharing from, Tales My Lama Told Me by Pastor David Lai. The stories within are from our guru, His Eminence the 25th Sam Rinpoche. Today I'll be reading chapter 5, Loden, Sherab's Gift. And let me share a picture with you before I start reading. There you go. That is Loden Sherab with Sherab on the top left corner and Doji Shukten at the bottom. Chapter 5, Loden Sherab's Gift, page 43. The practice of propitiating Dharma protectors like Sherab was brought over to Tibet from ancient India. It has survived to this day due to centuries of propitiation in Ganden Shatze Monastery and other prominent monastic institutions throughout the world. This practice has been further proliferated by Sherab's own great power and efficacy. I have seen that those in dire situations who have made sincere prayers to him have gained tremendous assistance. In fact, there are many who gained faith in the Buddha's teachings after receiving divine assistance from Sherab. Hence, Rinpoche promotes Sherab to the masses by installing him as the main Dharma protector of Kechara House, his vast Buddhist organization. The following story is of Sherab's origins and how he was brought from India to Tibet. Translators are not merely scholars or intellectuals, but are highly revered as great masters in their own right because of their courage and compassion in making the Dharma teachings available to many. They are responsible for the translation of the entire Tibetan corpus of teachings from the Kangyo to the Tengyo scriptures, which contain all of the Buddha's spoken words, meditation practices, and teachings from his spiritual sons and the great erudite masters of ancient India. To achieve this, these translators had to brave extreme difficulties of traveling to India in order to study the teachings and bring them back to Tibet. About 1,000 years ago, there lived an extremely kind Tibetan master, Loden Sherab. He was a direct disciple of the master Lekpai Sherab, who was in turn a great student of the great Pandit Atisha. Loden Sherab was a great Lotsawa, or translator, who had been to India to study, and he had brought back many Dharma scriptures and practices to Tibet. In India, he enrolled and studied at the illustrious Bodh Monastic University and became a student of the abbot at that time. Just before Loden Sherab returned to Tibet, the abbot felt that there would be incredible obstacles that would arise for the spread of Dharma in Tibet. He felt that there was a need for a supreme Dharma protector to be brought over from India who would help the practitioners, monasteries, meditators, and monks in Tibet. This protector would be beneficial in helping to clear obstacles, including those related to obtaining food, sustenance, help, and sponsors, and the protector would also grant protection from plagues, spirits, and all other obstacles that would hinder the growth of Dharma. In order to help future practitioners, the great abbot of Bodh was said to have spoken to an assembly of protectors at the main protector's shrine. At the shrine, among all the images of the deities in Bodh, he very simply asked, "Which one of you will go with Loden Sherab?" Sherab immediately emanated and responded to the great abbot. The abbot himself was not an ordinary being. He was one of the greatest enlightened Indian masters of the time and able to communicate directly with the enlightened beings. "I will go with him, and I will work together with this Lama to spread the Dharma firmly, widely, and powerfully," Sherab proclaimed. And that was exactly what he did. So Lama Loden Sherab was entrusted with Sherab and took Sherab back to Tibet with him. Loden Sherab was already a highly accomplished master. On the journey back to Tibet, he sought to test Satrap's power because he wanted to see the capabilities of this protector. As he was crossing a river, he asked Satrap to help him across. Satrap supported Loden Sherab as they crossed the river. To test him, Loden Sherab then deliberately pressed down upon Satrap. However, Satrap held him up, pushing upwards with equal force to keep Loden Sherab afloat. He pushed him down again, but Satrap continued to push him up until Loden Sherab safely made it to the other side of the river. It is said that if a being has equal power with the Lama, it would mean that he or she was therefore already enlightened. When Loden Sherab brought Satrap over to Tibet, he resided in Sangpo Nutok Monastery, a great monastery built by a student of Atisha. The monastery was known for its community of pure monks. Loden Sherab thus installed Satrap there as the main protector. However, Satrap eventually manifested an expression of unhappiness. While the land of India was lush and green and had many beautiful animals, waterfalls, and lakes, in Tibet the land was mountainous and barren, with not a single tree in sight. So Satrap showed himself to be bored. He reflected what the Chinese princess Wen Chen must have felt as she was leaving China to go to Tibet, where she was to be married to the Tibetan king. Tibet was not a place that people in the magnificent ancient civilizations like China and India looked forward to visiting. Both powerful civilizations considered it a barbaric country, and no one really wanted to travel to the barren mountains. In the ancient world, no one would ever say, "Hey, let's take a trip to Tibet and stay there." Travelers rarely went there unless it was for a spiritual journey. And so, when Satrap first arrived there, he expressed the same sentiment to Loden Sherab. The land in Tibet were empty, cold, and dry, which resulted in Satrap manifesting sadness and longing for the beautiful lands of India. In order to establish the Dharma and create karma and merit for the people of Tibet, Loden Sherab emanated a huge offering to Satrap. This was similar to making mandala offerings using a mandala set that comprises 3 hollow rings and few precious items that we offer up to the Buddha. When we make this offering, we visualize the whole universe within this mandala, filled with the same precious substances that are multiplied by hundreds of millions of times, which we then offer to the Buddhas. While it may merely be a visualization for us, high lamas can actualize their visualizations into a physical form. This is what Loden Sherab did upon bringing Satrap into Tibet. He took some of his own hair, blew mantras upon it, and he threw it into the air. As he threw the hair up, a beautiful forest appeared behind him. It was lush, green, and vibrant, just like the forest in India. It even had within it peacocks that roamed the lands, beautiful elephants that trumpeted, along with monkeys, apes, birds, and all manner of wild animals. The sounds of moving water and wildlife made the entire forest come alive, as resplendent as any forest in India. Satrap was pleased and uttered a sign of approval. It was an offering on behalf of Tibet from this Lama to create merit for Satrap to remain. It was not that Satrap was attached to these things as he is a fully enlightened Buddha, but rather he provided an opportunity for the people in Tibet to create merit and a divine connection with him. By the merit created for Tibet, it would allow him to stay and for the people to receive his practice and benefit greatly from it. Therefore, altars dedicated to Lord Satrap might often be seen with representations of this same environment that was offered to him by Loden Sherab. For example, practitioners might offer beautiful trees or plants, animal statues, or musical instruments around the altar. The Tibetan long horns that are played during a satrap puja prayer session are meant to evoke the sounds of elephants. The Tibetan clarinet, gayling, is also played to mimic the sounds of peacocks. The sounds of these instruments, musical instruments, are considered an offerings that we can make to Lord Satrap during our prayers. When we offer such beautiful sensory items to Satrap or any enlightened beings, it is to cut away our own attachments to the five senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, and our negative habits or reactions that arise from these attachments. For example, when we offer pleasing music to Satrap as a representation of our attachments to music, we also create the cause for us to cut our attachment to praise and complimentary words. When my exalted teacher, His Eminence Khenso Jampa Yeshe Rinpoche, relayed this story to me, which is our own guru, Sam Rinpoche, he explained that upon arriving in Tibet, Lama Loden Sherab installed Satrap as the protector of Nyat Rung Chatsang, a part of Sangpu Monastery. Unfortunately, a fire broke out and burned down Nyarung Chaksang, and so the monks and the property were then absorbed into Chakze Chaksang of Sangpu Monastery. When Lama Tsongkhapa later founded Ganden Monastery in the 15th century, Chakse Chaksang became assimilated into Ganden as Ganden Shatse Monastery. Hence, through the council of the Sangha, Satrap was invited to be the Dharma protector of Ganden Shatse Monastery, where he continues to stand today as the monastery's central and most highly revered Dharma protector. And that is the end of my sharing from that chapter, where Loden Sherab had brought satrap practice into Tibet. And until today, we are still practicing his practice. And in the practice of Lord Doje Shupden, there is a part that is dedicated to satrap. And so, as such, that was the sharing of how, actually satrap was brought into Tibet. And so, thank you for sharing your time with me. And I'll end this with a completion dedication in English. May the precious body mind, where it is not born, arise and grow. May that bond have no decline but increase forevermore. May the precious emptiness, where it is not born, arise and grow. May that bond have no decline but increase forevermore. May this merit accumulated by myself and others beneficially serve all sentient beings and the Buddha Dharma, and especially may the essential teachings of the unerring Master Tsongkhapa become clear and enduring. In all rebirths, may I not be parted from perfect gurus. Let me enjoy the abundance of the Dharma, perfecting the quality stages and paths. May I quickly attain this rank of Vajradhara Buddha. By this virtue, may I quickly realize Guru Buddhahood and transfer each sentient beings into that enlightened state. May all conducive conditions arise and all obstacles be pacified in order to increase infinitely the doctrine of the spiritual king Tsongkhapa. By the merits of the 3 times of myself and others, may the doctrine of Lama Tsongkhapa blaze forever. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the 3 jewels grant us their blessing. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the paths of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness. May the holy teachers have long lives. May the enlightened activities be fully displayed in the 10 directions, and may the brightness of the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa continuously dissipate the veil of darkness covering the beings of the 3 realms. In this land encircled by snow mountains, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig remain in this life until samsara's end, whom grant me here and now appropriate attainments without exception, grant increase of the entourage, teachings, and wealth, O mighty Shukden. Thank you for sharing your time with me, and please do join me as I move to the next chapter with very interesting story.